Hello, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to season 2 of Crisis Currency Roundtable. I am excited to come back with you all for season 2. We ended, I believe, the end of August. So we are excited to come back for season 2 to talk about this COVID era. So we are going to talk to some thought leaders and influencers in the fashion space on what does it look like shopping and selling in this new COVID era. My name is Larvetta Lofton. I am the founder of the L3 Agency. And if you want to know more information about our podcast, please visit our website at the L3 Agency /podcast and learn more about our podcast. Before I get started, I just want to share with you all that we are excited about what we're launching here at our agency. I normally do a segment called What Brings Me Joy. And what brings me joy is when I get to collaborate with Black business owners, entrepreneurs in various areas to do this work. And so one of the reasons why I started this podcast is I felt like there wasn't content for Black businesses on how to pivot out of this and pivot out of this financial crisis and build currency. And so one of the things that we've launched is whole merchandise on Black businesses matter. And so we have mugs, we're going to have some sweatshirts. So we're really, really excited about that and really being able to launch. Our goal is to help other Black business owners that are launching established businesses and give them money to support their business and support their vision. Because I am committed to making sure that Black businesses are being fair, like they're creating access for all people of color, but more importantly for Black folks. So I am excited about my guests. It's crazy. We had a glitch today and we just made it work. And I'm just so excited to be here this afternoon with you on Friday. And I am going to bring my guests. Many of them have worked in so many different areas, so I think you're just going to have a good time. So if you could bring your drinks, we've got cocktails. Somebody who had a cocktail. So, feel free to kick back, enjoy Friday night with us as we bring you Crisis and Currency Roundtable. So let me introduce you to my first guest. I want to introduce to you the only man in the house, which is Antoine J, which we are excited to bring him. Antoine, are you there? Can we see you?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can't see you for some reason, Antoine.
Hold on one second. Let me see what I hit.
There we go. Okay.
All right, cool.
Go back. Whatever you just did. Come back. We were going to be great today. What happened? You were there and then it went back out. Okay. So he is the only male in this roundtable discussion. So I'm truly excited to have my brother and my friend in this. But we go. That's okay, Antoine. We're going to figure it out there you go. Wait. We lost you again.
I don't know. It's
That's all right. We lost you. But as he comes up, Antoine J, then I'm going to bring up my dear sister, Shalanda, who is a lifestyle and fashion stylist. Hello, Shalanda. And so she's gonna come. Can you, Shalanda, we can see you. Can you just say something, make sure we're good?
Yes, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yay. Welcome.
Hi.
Where's your cocktail?
Oh, that's actually coconut water. So I'm plugging Trader Joe's.
Oh, but that's okay. That's all right. It's all good. Next, I want to introduce you all to my sister to the stage. And I say to the stage is Frenchie Harris. Here, let me make sure we are here, right here. Okay, add to the stream. Hello, Frenchie.
Hello.
Founder of Harper Street Consulting and Black Fashion Movements. Okay, but she's rocking her AKA wear, but we love her. We love her. It's AKA. I still love my AKA. But as for me, Delta Sigma Theta, but I still
all love.
So next to the stage, I am going to introduce my sister, Miss Jaminda McCoy, who is the founder of Belly Up Boutique here in, well, she's in Chicago. I'm out of Chicago. And so we are so excited to have her. So guys, for some reason, we can't answer. Oh, there you are, Antoine. Yay.
I'm here.
Yay. We got you. So literally, I'm excited to have all of you all here with me this afternoon to kick off season 2. I don't know if you all know this, but you're the first episode of season 2. So you're real special. So the first ones and the last ones are very special to me. So, wow. So let's just dig in. I want to really talk about what's going on in the space of COVID, in the space of COVID era. So I really want you guys to just introduce yourselves and how you are pivoting in this COVID era. And so I'm going to, just for the sake of kind of how I introduced you, can I just start off with Jaminda?
Sure. Hi, Larvetta.
Hello.
How did you end up with 3 AKAs on one?
Hey.
We are just overwhelming you. We just took over the world, girl. We don't took over the world.
I love it. I love it. I will say, I love it. I love all my pink and green sisters.
We love you back. We love you back. So I am Jaminda McCoy. I'm the founder and CEO of Belly Up LLC. We are a women's clothing boutique. We specialize in maternity wear and women's contemporary, but we run the gamut. So we have a one-stop shop for busy women on the go. And so I founded the brand in 2009, so almost 11 years ago. And we are just moving along. Just keep it moving, keep changing, keep moving, keep growing. So
how have you pivoted during this? I know you have made some changes, make an appointment into your wonderful boutique because it is really cute and perfect for just women. It just makes you feel really cute and sophisticated. So how have you guys pivoted to keep people safe when they're shopping?
You know what? We have a great customer base. We're based in the Beverly neighborhood of Chicago. We've also had locations in Hyde Park. We've been downtown on Michigan Avenue. And so that's been the name of the game for me, is pivot. So I am a lawyer by trade and ended up, opening the boutique, and not out of, I just love fashion, because truthfully, I don't even like to shop. I have someone handing me a cocktail because that's just right.
I love it.
But we've been pivoting. I've been pivoting for 11 years. So we started out as strictly maternity 11 years ago, and we grew based on our customer wants and needs, to carrying women's, to carrying shoes, to accessories, everything. So pivot has kind of been the name of the game for me, but this, we were shut down for 13 weeks. Mm-hmm. So our store was completely closed for 13 weeks. And we've always had an e-commerce presence. And that was my goal for the last year and a half, was to revamp our website, to get it back up and running. We did that kind of right before, 2020 hit. And so it gave me time, that forced us to really focus on the e-commerce platform, to focus on social media, to really get out there with our customers and reach them in a different way. And so we did that. We started selling masks. I mean, Larvetta knows, but I sold more masks in 13 weeks than it was pretty ridiculous. But it was just finding what my customers needed. So my customers transformed from going to work every day, a lot of them, to at home with the kids, and so they didn't need fancy dresses, or they weren't going out. So pivoting even that part of the inventory to stay at home, comfy. You can still be comfy, you can still be chic, you can still feel good. And so we just really focused on what our customers needed at the time, and got that in.
Nice, Jaminda. And I'm glad that you really focused on your customers. And that's so important, and having an e-commerce strategy. So I am going to pivot to Antoine over there, because he's our only man in this roundtable. So we're going to allow for him to talk about, did you have an e-commerce strategy? Are you working on that? Because it is important during this COVID era. Antoine?
Well, a few things that I think I've done since COVID took place. It allowed me to really restructure the business. When I first got into the industry, it was men's footwear, classic, well-made footwear. I was dabbling into women's, but I just didn't know. One of my professors said, "Hey, focus on what you know, what you love first to get off the ground." And when COVID hit, it allowed me to basically sit down like everybody else and look at the business from a whole. So as I was sketching and trying to figure out how to launch our women's platform, it allowed me to also just stop and restructure the whole business. So we're ready to launch our e-commerce. We got a lot of good things going on. We're getting ready to do virtual trunk shows for the holiday, which is probably the biggest thing I think that works for us, because I'm so used to being up close and personal with individuals, especially gentlemen, because once you try the shoes on and stuff like that, I think it's more, just closer to you when you do that. But since we can't do that, virtual trunk shows have been kind of my bread and butter. Now I'm really focusing on how can I build an audience around a virtual trunk show, and then, push them over to e-commerce. So it's been kind of a hassle. And then also our price point, we're luxury. So you have to think about it. Since when COVID hit, you go through the gamut of your needs and your wants.
Yeah.
Do you want a pair of luxury footwear that you probably won't wear for a couple months?
Yeah.
Or do you need them?
Yeah.
And you really don't need them because you don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So that's been our hurdle, but it doesn't stop our creativity. We're still pushing through. We're looking through the rest of this holiday season to actually make a run. I have a goal to where I always felt like when I got into, and to be short, when I got into the industry, I felt like one thing that I always wanted to do was be out in public and approach a gentleman and say, "Hey man, those are some really nice shoes." And he begins to dialogue with me and tell me, "Yeah, these shoes are made by such and such and they're comfortable, blah, blah, blah." And then I jump in and say, "I'm the designer, nice to meet you." And I've accomplished that. So I still feel that daily thing is, let me get one or two gentlemen in it, and then they're going to tell 15 to 20.
Nice.
So it's like door-to-door salesman.
Yep.
So it's been a hassle, but we're making a good headway.
Yeah, and just your shoes are amazing. I mean, just
beautiful.
see a man
Thank you.
with some nice shoes does just make it. It's just
This
real
is my
sexy.
bread and butter.
Yes, it's
This
sexy.
is my bread and butter.
Yes, good. And I'm glad you showed it. They are really nice. And so, the thing about it is that I think in COVID, less is more, right? So you get that nice pair that you have that you can rock, does send a message. So I am going to pivot to Frenchie. Frenchie, please share with us how you have literally pivot out of the, so please tell that story of coming out of that retail space and launching your own company.
So COVID really just blew up the fashion industry from the retail standpoint, from the customer shopping experience, from production. Everything was just kind of blown up. And it gave an opportunity for the industry to really rethink how it's going to move forward. And quite honestly, it needed to. A lot of the mechanics that were in place with the fashion industry were very archaic. And it wasn't as customer friendly as our consumers now need, because there's so many places and opportunities to shop. Yeah. So as Arvetta mentioned, I came out of the luxury retail space as a PR manager with Neiman Marcus. And COVID literally, that was it. That's how I have it to pivot. I pivoted out of retail and I started my own. I literally, while in that space, was filling the pool for the last year, because you kind of max out. You know when you're in a corporate environment and you've kind of done all you can do, and there's so much more that God has within you to continue forward, but that space won't allow it. And so COVID gave me that opportunity to really sit down, as Antoine mentioned, and start to think about how I want to affect change in this industry.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to affect change because I've always been the fighter for the underdog. And that underdog in the industry can be the independent designer, it can be the emerging brand, or for me, it can be the Black owned business. And so it was really my passion to create a space or where I would partner with these emerging independent brands to help them scale their business. I'm speaking to Antoine.
I love it. This is where the round table. This is magic. I
A
love
lot of them don't know how to do it. They get to a certain place where they're making a good income, but they don't know how to get to the next level. They don't know they don't have the resources, or even more importantly, the contacts to make those relationships. So I help them scale their direct to consumer, but I also help them develop brand and vendor partnerships. And on the other part of my business, and Black Lives Matter really helped with this part after we saw everything with George Foreman. I can't.
Floyd.
Floyd. Gosh,
That's all right.
not the grill. George Floyd.
Yeah.
That a lot of corporations started paying attention, right? And fashion was one of them. Thank God, because they needed to. And so I also partner with retailers to find these brands to help diversify their merchandise mix.
Nice.
A lot of times, retailers have come into a situation where they have buyers, but buyers are in these relationships with fashion brands that they have been in forever and don't have the time to really outsource or go find new and innovative brands. And so that's where they partner with me to help do that.
Nice.
Mhm.
And it's such, it's been a gap for so long, Frenchie. Like, it's almost like COVID happened and you appeared to solve that problem, because we're problem solvers, right?
Sure.
Most of us, our problem was solving some level of problem. And that's literally a place where I feel like, oh man, this should have been done a long time ago, right? Just to be able to do that, because emerging brands want to get to those mass retailers. They want to be there, but those mass retailers don't know how to get to those emerging brands.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of the person who marries or unites the two.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I love it.
So I want to introduce my sister, Shalanda, because what I truly have to say is that what she does, and just does it so well, and this is why I love her handle, is that she's always dressed for dinner.
All right.
All the time. I mean, it's like dinner at 12 o'clock. Like, literally, we have a dinner at 12. We have a dinner at 2. It doesn't matter when it's in Shalanda's camp. And so, Shalanda, really talk to us about you. I know one of the things I loved about you was that you were doing videos on how people can utilize accessories before COVID, and just really how you could, literally, you're online, you're doing a meeting, let me give you an earring or two, or this pop a color. And so how have you evolved and pivot in this COVID era as a stylist who's typically on sets and helping people and walking them through what would be a great extension, enhancement of their brand?
So the interesting thing is, once Antoine will get to Frenchie, then after he leaves Frenchie, Antoine and I will form a partnership.
There you go. There you go.
I love it.
It's the same thing. So for me, I work a full-time job. I've always had a full-time job, but I've always also had a side hustle. And as you know, Larvetta, I am the person that everyone will call when they're looking for a restaurant, they're looking for some sheets, they're trying to find somewhere to travel to. And I think there's been this gap of women of color, especially Black women, who are in that lifestyle space. For the longest time, there was only B. Smith, and she's no longer with us. And there's no one else that truly fills that space, that can go and give you that gateway into every part of your life. Even if it's down to finding some designer toilet paper that is now made that is super cute that people should have in their bathrooms. And so what I do with my side hustle, I have an accessories company that I'm an independent stylist for, or a brand ambassador. And as you said, I've been doing videos for a really long time. And they just started out as these small videos that I was putting on my Facebook page, me not really knowing that that was actually a job, so to speak, or that this is something that's going to turn into my next career path. And that I'm giving people advice and things that they wouldn't even think about. Like when COVID hit, I started doing these short videos called Dress for the Desk. So literally I'm dressed from the waist up, but if you see what I have on, I've got on some leggings, you know, from the bottom down. And so it was, exactly. It was, you know, one of the things that we talked about was luxury wear. Luxury brands are actually still doing well because some of them have pivoted really well and they're making lounge wear that can transition from you running to the grocery store to you having to sit on a meeting.
Yeah.
So I am, you know, but I am the person that wants you not to spend all of your money. So I'm going to find that median ground where if you want to buy one expensive piece, I need you to build everything around that.
Yeah.
So that the world is opening up, we're still transitioning back into going out, you know, in small groups. You can still take these ensembles that you have on, a nice long cardigan, a really cute tank top, some really cute boots and some leggings, throw in you some really fabulous earrings and be out the door in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the way that we lived our busy lives has changed, and it's also changed the way that we dress. So what I do is, number one, I kind of look at, you know, what people are doing and how they're moving about their daily lives. And then we just start to build from there. So,
right.
You know, with Black brands, we don't have that representation. And what my business is pivoting to is being that conduit where I'll feature your Black brand. I don't, and for me, it's not about getting merchandise from you. It's about showcasing your business. I don't need free merchandise. I really don't. That's not a draw for me. It's me helping someone get their name out there and saying, I came across, you know, I love the lip bar. I came across the lip bar and I am a huge proponent of this small cosmetics line that started off with just lipsticks. And now she has a full-blown cosmetics line.
Yeah. And this is why this roundtable is so important, is because we have to make sure that stories about us and leading brands and making sure that's happened is really told, because there's no platform to be told unless, you know, we're all getting paid to do it, because everything in that way, a broadcast is all about being paid. And so let's talk about experience. You know, I've always been person about experience for all of our clients and creating an experience and making sure it's imminent, because really people really want that. And I think we need an experience more now than before, because you may go to that dinner spot now, but you want an experience. You want to spend there 3 hours because you don't know when you might be able to go back out, right? Because we just don't know when that may change. And so I want to talk about experience, and I want to share, you know, just kind of my experience recently. Mother's Day, I purchased a charm for my mom from Pandora. And so here's the thing. While I think mail order is amazing, for Jaminda, I wanted to go to her store and get it right away. So it is still that idea of I want something. So I went to Pandora. I called them on the phone. They said, you can come here, pick it up. Just text us when you're out there. We'll come and we're going to bring it. To me, that was an experience. Me getting it in my box, and I mean, send it, you know, everybody loves Amazon, but there's no experience for me. Okay, I'm getting something that I need, you know, and those are things that I need. And that's fine because there's a space, but it's something that's special. I want an experience. And I do think that I believe that right now is an opportunity to create that experience. And what I want to hear is, how are you providing that experience? So like, for example, with Nordstrom, they were doing this before, but I have seen it. Like, you would see your outfit and then they would show you how to wear it. Much like what you were doing, Shalanda, like the idea of like, okay, this is cute, but how do you rock this? And so for all of you all, how are you creating that experience so that it is memorable and imminent for your customers, your existing customers, and obvious new customers to see and benefit from that experience?
Can I take that?
Yeah, yes.
Because I don't have a customer that I'm selling an actual product to. But what I do know in my role in PR and marketing, that what makes the experience an experience that you're talking about is the personalization.
Yes.
So right now it is critical for all brands and retailers to really develop relationships with their client base. And although it is definitely a better experience per se when you're receiving something from someone like you mentioned at Pandora, but you can create an experience in the mail.
Absolutely.
You know, you really can.
Correct.
You can. And so And now sometimes we don't have the option.
But people have to be able to do that, right? Instead
Exactly.
yeah.
Right.
So you can create, your packaging can be an experience. The note that you write with your customer's actual name, personalize it.
Yes.
You know, something specific to that customer, taking the time out to know what they really want and need versus just doing a broad sweep, which was happening prior to COVID.
Yep.
Now it's critical because people aren't shopping as much. So
Correct.
when they do decide to shop, we want them to shop with us, correct? And so in order to do that, we have to create that connection. We have to build that relationship, and we need to personalize it. And that's the way that you're going to create the experience that's going to mean something to your customer base.
And I'm so glad because Jaminda, when I picked up my mask, she personalized a note for me. And so while I'm an existing customer, it was just a nice touch to get. At that moment, I needed that personal, like right then and there, I needed that. So agreed that so with that, and I'll allow for some people, it's like we're going back to the basics because pretty much coming from the PR world, that was what we did, right? We sent thank you cards before there was email, and we personalized and we signed it. And that was like, oh my gosh, somebody sent me now. And so I don't know if you all know this, but the trends have said direct mail is going up because people are wanting that personal attention. Does anybody else talk about how they are providing the experience with their customers?
Yeah, I do it right now. That's what I did from the beginning. So when you got a package from me, you know, and the direct sales company that's my side hustle, our packaging has transitioned 3 times. So, you know, this is the new box, and on the inside of the box, there's a little thing on the inside. But
nice.
What I also do is I follow up with thank you text messages now.
Yes, you do.
So like a lot of my business is done on the go. So I've got an app on my phone that I'm sending out, you know, outfit ideas because I can style you with an app, and that, you know, and being able to do that, it's made everything really easy. Whereas a customer's like, oh, I'm going to dinner with my family, I need something really quick. But it's also me having the conversation with them. So I use Zoom a lot. I don't just, you know, it's not just not connecting with them because we're not in person. There are so many ways to connect, from IG stories, Reels now, to Facebook Live, to all of these ways to connect with people, that smaller businesses have to make that pivot and say, you're not in your store anymore, like a Jaminda. So now I have to reach out to Jaminda via text message or via IG and send her a message and say, hey, I'm interested in your product. And then we can start a dialogue there. So it's really looking at alternate means of communication that's tradition, because think about when fashion houses were existing. They did those personalized shows and you could buy your merchandise right there.
Yeah.
Nifa just killed the market when she did her online fashion show that was all digital. Had no models.
That's right.
All you saw were her products. And look, her prices have pretty much tripled from when she first started, all because she had that personalized digital connection.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting because, you know, there's a big digital divide with Black businesses. And I don't know why we're so fearful of the digital space. And so one of the things I've been advocating, just like we did for COVID, we had, you know, we were able to, you know, help three businesses in Chicago to help them with their online presence, because for whatever it is, we have this digital divide that is crazy. So when we matched, you know, someone of the same kind of business industry, kind of type of business next to a Black person, it was never the same because they had a website, they had that platform, so they had customers coming in. Okay, let's make sure we.
Sorry, I'm trying to know.
That's okay. And so the idea of that is making sure that those things are in place. And so we missed that. Like when Airbnb in 2008 was started, they quickly made money, and they made money fast because they weren't afraid of that space and creating that home experience. And so what we have to do is get past this whole idea of not getting on the website, not building out the site, not taking the time to do it, right?
And spend the money.
You know, I am big on invest in what makes you better, right? So if you invest in what makes you better, there's a return on investment. And we just don't see that. Jaminda, I think you had something to say about experience.
So, I mean, for me, experience has always been a driver for us. We build those customer relationships, the one-on-ones. So during while we were shut down, it was like, okay, we can either stop doing anything, or we can see how we make this work. So we started curbside pickup. We started home delivery.
Yes.
So we offered complimentary delivery within a specified delivery area. So we go from Beverly to Oak Lawn. So if you see something on our website, you see something on our social media, order it online, we'll deliver it. Call us, we'll deliver it. And then we also started, I'm fairly introverted. So even my family now, we've started these Thursday night lives. So I do a live 1 hour segment where I talk about all the new, because we get new stuff in every day. So I talk about all the new stuff that we've gotten that week in the store. We make a cocktail, we're just talking it out. So, that has been really successful for us. We had one just last night. I mean, we get web orders, we get phone calls. If you see something you love, it's not on the web yet because we just got it in today. DM us and we'll get it to you. We'll PayPal invoice you, like whatever it takes. And like Shalonda said, like I have customers who text me, they're in their closet. They take a picture. Does this look, how does this look? And what shoe should I wear with this? So that is the rapport that we've built with our customers. I had begun to do some personal styling and in-home consulting, which I had to shut down for a while for COVID. But, so I have that rapport with my customers. My store manager has that rapport with the customers. And so they feel great about texting us at the store or on our personal phones. And, how does this work? Can you package some stuff for us? I have some gifts to give out. People still had birthdays, even during the shutdown, and, people still had anniversaries and whatnot. So can you put something together for my wife? So, we put it together, we'll wrap it, we put a nice note in it. If you want, if you want to personalize the note, you want us to personalize the note, whatever it is, we deliver it. So, just continuing to give people, go above and beyond. You want Nordstrom service, you want Neiman Marcus service in Beverly, and you'll get
Absolutely.
that.
Right.
And you can have that in a Black business, right?
Absolutely.
You have that, and that's important. It's like you don't, one thing, and I didn't necessarily, I did do it. I was very strategic. I'm not going to say that I wasn't, but strategically, it was really about, you guys really are, just as a gamut, are really about luxury and personalization and really, but in your own right. And so the fact that we're just talking about this, brings me joy because we don't see enough of this, right? We don't see enough. I say it's there. We just don't see enough of it being showcased. And so one of the things I did want to ask Jaminda, and I'm just saying this because you are the queen of pivot, like, from maternity then to this, and literally pivot in nice ways, because while I wasn't pregnant, I was like, oh, these clothes are cute. So, and so going from there, but do you find that because people been locked up, people getting pregnant, are you seeing more
COVID babies?
The COVID babies.
COVID era, we got COVID babies.
It's on and popping now. The COVID babies.
Right.
Yeah. So are you seeing an increase in that space, in the maternity side?
You know what? We have seen a slight uptick in maternity, but people have also, the maternity industry has pivoted over the last, 11 years that we've been open. So what we see a lot of, whether, you're pregnant, a lot of maternity clothing now is made for before, during, and after. So a lot of maternity wear is also maternity nursing. So it's designed to grow with you and then, for your postpartum experience. So that has been great as well because, we've seen some COVID babies, but, it takes a while for you to start showing, for you to, get into maternity clothes. But we've also seen a lot of recently delivered moms who are now wanting to, they're like, okay, we're done with maternity. So either we need nursing or we need to transition back into our regular women's wear. So, we've seen a slight uptick, but, because you're home, they'll probably throw on their husband's sweatshirt before, they come and spend a whole bunch of money on stuff that they're not going to be wearing outside. So, we try to continue to grow with you.
Nice.
And to, like Shalonda was saying, not getting you to buying something that you're not going to wear, but if you're going to invest in a beautiful piece, then we want to offer that way for you to capsulize it and build around that piece in your wardrobe. So that's what we've been focusing on.
Nice. And so, Antoine, I want to talk a bit on, custom wear, like how are you going to pivot in creating an experience? Because you were the personalized attention. You did a lot of pop-up events at various boutiques, and I was blessed to be a part of it. So how is that? I mean, obviously pop-ups are still okay, right? So you can continue to do that. Pop-ups are still this. And so as a result, it's interesting, Antoine, when you did your pop-ups, it was kind of like new, right? People weren't kind of taking over, a boutique. And your brand is literally, is a takeover. Like you literally are taking over the boutique. And so do you see that as a trend for you and how you're going to create that experience and get people to know more?
Well, for me, I anticipate as far as the pop-ups, I'm not going to say I just completely walked away from it. I just put it on the burner because over time. So me creating the experience was going back to my virtual trunk show. And one thing that I just started implementing or getting ready to implement is our price point. We're luxury. So our men's footwear starts at $495 and and it's 100% custom. And it goes up to $650. So as we're in this COVID time and you're thinking about needs and wants, if a gentleman is going to spend $495 on a boot that he might not even wear this season for the holiday, how can I make it more personal for him? So what I've done is, for instance, this boot that I call Raspberry. This is my Raspberry boot.
Nice.
So, I used to be a mixologist, so there's a wine that's fused with cognac. So, and it's a raspberry color. So every gentleman that buys a boot, I send them a bottle of the wine. Not a bottle. It's $25 out of my pocket. However, that to me speaks more personal to that individual. If you can get a boot and sit down and wear your boot and have a glass with it, hey, this guy, he took the extra step. And then the cognac version, you get a small bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever other cognac I can think of. So those are the things. And then going back to something one of the other young ladies said, I used to just simply get just a basic thank you card for our buyers. But I've since changed that. They get a really nice handwritten cotton thank you card that's personalized with their name on it. So and the packaging is there. So it's so much that I'm trying to implement into being more personal without being there in your face. So with the virtual trunk show, one thought, if anybody got any ideas, if I could find a way to do a virtual trunk show and everybody has a cocktail on me while we're doing this virtual trunk show, that would be dope. So that's, it's very difficult, but it's doable. I think having a platform like this, it allows us to share ideas and think about things, but you also have to put in the work too. You got to really be able to touch the customers.
That's right.
You got to really, if you don't want to touch those customers virtually, you're going to lose your business. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And the thing is with the luxury customer, as Antoine mentioned, a luxury customers buy not because they need it, it's because they want it.
Exactly.
So your client, if they can't wear this shoe for another 2 years, if he want it, he want it.
He's going to buy it.
And he's going to buy it.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And I think at this point, because of the COVID era, I think we want some things, right? I just want to go out and hang out with my girlfriends. I want to hug my girlfriend. I just want to hold her. Like I want that, and it's priceless. So I do want to talk a little bit for you, Frenchie, and a little bit for you in this space of retail. So sensory, right?
Sure.
We've lost the sensory. So because we cannot have that sensory experience, every time I think about Nordstrom, some of my favorite retailers, it's that perfume that just makes me feel sexy, right? It just makes me feel like I need another bottle of something, right? which is Joe Malone for me. But how, you know, and I know for you, like, what do you see is going to be a trend on how we, you know, really build sensory behavior back into this space?
So it's so funny you say that because, you know, we're at home, we're working from home, we're not thinking about, you know, spraying perfume or whatever. And I just remember my husband left like last week or the week before, and he was going into the office and he had a cologne. And I was like, you ain't smell good in a long time. We have not, you know, indulged in that. But the thing is, so our beauty, when you're thinking of the retail experience, the beauty counters are shut down, right? Because of COVID. There's no more in-store makeup applications. There are sampling you can do with the perfume. But really, I think with COVID and sensory, it's going to be all about what makes you feel good. And if buying the latest Joe Malone fragrance is what's going to make you feel happy, whether no one smells it but you, then that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really, we really, when you talk about going back to basics, it's going to turn into, you know, we have what we need. All of us right now in this space have exactly what we need. So we really start to think about what is it that we want that's going to make us happy and sane in this crazy environment.
Yeah.
That's how, you know, when you're thinking about sensory and development and things like that, that's how you're going to continue to engage.
Nice. And I'm glad. It's crazy. I mean, I come into the office on Fridays. And so one of the things that it does for me is just putting on clothes and smelling good just makes me feel a certain kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's that idea of when you walk into the store, you all know hotels would create this sensory experience that makes you just want to like, oh my gosh, where am I? I'm in, you know, Mexico and I'm right down the street. You know what I mean? So you can create that experience. And so I wonder, even in, you know, as we move into that for you, Jaminda, how has that for you, how have you created the sensory experience inside of the retail space?
So for us, we've been getting back to, so when we first opened, I decided that we weren't just going to open, right? So our space is still smaller. We're a boutique, so it's still smaller. And I said, you know, I can't afford for anybody to get sick. My team members, anybody at home, any of that. So we're not just going to open to the public and allow anybody in. So we decided to go appointment based. So 2 people in the store at a time, 2 customers. And we implemented different things where, you know, because we're a boutique, we don't have a ton of inventory. So, you know, if a customer tries something on, that gets put to the side and it gets steamed immediately because nothing lives over 200 degrees. But you know, after something's tried on, I know a lot of stores aren't even allowing customers to try things on in store, but that doesn't lead to the experience. That's a sensory thing. If our customers are coming in here, if they like are leaving their house and entrusting us to walk into our store, they're going to try something on. They're going to be able to have that ability to try something on if they want to. So that was important to me to give them that opportunity. So, you know, still allowing our customers to come in, but to feel in a safe way. You're not coming, you know, we're requiring masks, obviously. We require that you sanitize your hands when you come in. We wipe everything down as fitting rooms, you know, door handles, everything after a customer has touched it. So we want the customer to feel comfortable in our space. And that was important for me. And then, you know, allowing them to continue to do the things that they were used to doing once they're in the store, which is try things on, get feedback. So we did that by appointment only. You got a 30-minute appointment. And you got our staff's full attention during that 30 minutes. And then, you know, it was time for the next appointment. So that was, and, you know, people said, well, you're going to lose a lot of money that way. I'm like, no. No, I'll be okay. And so will my customers. They will trust me that, you know, that they're entrusting me, like I said, to leave the house and to be around people. So that was important. So I think that, you know, we've given people the opportunity to shop the way that they are used to shopping, just in a in a COVID safe environment, as safe as we can make it. So that was my goal.
And I think it's about, we wanted to talk about safety because that's really what people want is safety. Shalanda, for you, as an independent seller and ambassador for Stella & Dot, which I absolutely love. One of the things that you were doing before COVID was at-home parties, right? You invite 7 of your girlfriends or whatever. And it feels like it was like 7 because we were very close and intimate. It wasn't, 15, 50 people. It was, girlfriends, and we get to try on. That business, I would imagine people coming home and inviting a few girlfriends, it will grow exponentially. I know so I wanted to see how is that still the thing now for Stella & Dot for you?
Actually, the company pivoted probably about 2 years ago to we sell on the go. And that's because like my customer base, people who were buying from me weren't always in Chicago. They were all over the place. So for me, yes, we've lost some of the sensory, but we still have visual. And if you're really good at showcasing and sharing and giving options, that still gives people a sensory experience where if you're really good at being descriptive, they're going to feel that. And I believe in storytelling. So, for me, I'm going to describe my earrings. They're these gorgeous earrings that are emerald at the top. You've got your sparkle. There's, your fuchsia and turquoise. You can wear this with a t-shirt or a beautiful gown, but, we have to move into that space. And as far as, people wanting to try things on, I think smaller businesses are probably going to have to adjust their return policies.
Yeah.
Simply because these, you can get a store credit or you can't return it. It's not going, their longevity, they're not going to last long because customers want to know that if this doesn't fit, I can send it back. Yeah. Like my girlfriend and I are talking about a Black-owned shoe company, and she's afraid to order the boots because they're probably almost $500, but their return policy is no returns.
Wow.
They're gonna, and that's a risk that they're taking. So when it comes to that piece, it's not only really understanding how to tell a story without someone being able to touch your product, but also being able to visually tell the story. So like I purchased lipsticks that I've never had on before during this entire time. And if I don't like it, it's either going back or, I'm going to give it away or throw it away. One of the two, one of those 3 options. Yeah. And it's really knowing how to visually tell the story.
Yeah.
So being able to use apps, being able to, get your lighting right, buying a ring light, setting up your studio at home. Yeah. So, QVC and HSN has been around for forever. They are not going out of business.
Right.
That's true.
So, model the businesses that have been around and copy what they do. Yeah. Copy what they do. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. We don't have to reinvent it, right? We just, and I think what it goes back to what you all talked about but you provide that personalization. So even though you have those earrings, what I know when I get a Shalanda, I'm gonna get the earrings and a note. And girl, did you really like it? Make sure you wear those with some black pumps. Thank you. So that is something that says, yeah, I could get it over there, but I'm not gonna get it. I'm going to get something different when I shop with Shalanda.
Right. And I do think industry is the same way though. So it's not even with luxury home fragrances, Harlem Candle Company, Hive Luxury Fragrances that are all Black owned. Their businesses are doing really well. And
absolutely
are, right up there with the Voluspa or Nest, those other companies. So when we think about the scents that we love, they still offer that because we know what that scent is.
Yeah,
sure.
That is so true. I mean, it's funny because my, dear sister, Terry of Harlem Candles, when I told her, people were like, oh, your candles are expensive. And I was like, but her scents just make me feel a certain kind of way. So
inexpensive compared to what? We have to stop doing that to Black businesses. I'm sorry. We have to. Because they were going to spend on Nest or on Voluspa more, but then we'll want to, shortchange a Black brand. And that is a mind shift that Black people, our culture has to change. We have to shift that.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I think that, Frenchie, one of the things that I think that I saw during COVID people were asking me, and where should I go to support? I think before we start to take action, we have to be educated. When you support a Black business, let me educate you on what that looks like. Because what we don't understand is that means that those people get to employ more Black people, because we are the largest employers of Black people as a whole. But we don't, from a value standpoint, we don't pay them the same as much as a big company. I mean, it's just what it is, right? But if you were to continuously buy that from that Black business, then we can hire more and pay them, at the same market rate. But people be like, well, I'm not working for them because they're not gonna pay me enough. We know that's what people talk about. So, one of the things that, I wanted to talk through for this, and I know we've got 10 minutes, I want to make sure everybody knows for Christmas where to go, because many of you have talked about holidays. For you, Frenchie, I know you're not selling as a product, but one of the things that we've got to do is make sure, if we know custom wear businesses that want to scale and make money this fourth quarter, they need a Frenchie, they need a Harper shoe, so making sure people understand that, because these big brands are shutting down, but these small brands are coming in.
They are.
Great opportunity to really, there are people that I know that are made a lot of money in one quarter, and literally like, we just sit down pretty, we're good. So how can we make sure fourth quarter is pretty for many of us who lost in second quarter?
Right. So when you're talking about Christmas and where to shop, that's where you go to the Black fashion movement on social media. Because that's what we do. We just every day we promote a different Black fashion brand.
Oh,
and it's not about, we don't get anything from it. It's about our love for the culture.
Nice.
And a lot of people say, oh, I want to support, but I don't know where to find them. The Black fashion movement. It's every day. It's a different brand, and we tag them. We encourage you to shop, celebrate, support, and shop with them.
Nice. And we support you here so that we can further enhance and amplify what you're doing as a movement. So, Frenchie, you have our support on that, because
I appreciate you.
This fourth quarter, I want to see Black brands blow up in this fourth quarter. Seriously. And we know it's going to happen with Christmas. We know that Black Friday is going to look different. So sit at your desk at Black Friday and just spend with Black companies. That's
right.
That's what you can
Make
do.
it a real Black Friday.
We'll get a real Black Friday. Come on. I'm going to go to Antoine. Antoine, any final words?
I would say my final word is just keep pushing through. I mean, COVID is not shutting things down, but it's definitely halting us. But as far as the fashion and the movement, you got to just stick to what you know. Grind it out. I mean, that's what you got in it for. Just grind it out. I listen to Larvetta all the time. Business, keep pushing, business, business, business. And the moment I get dry, I pick up the phone. I might talk to her or Clee, but it's a grind. It's an everyday movement. And one thing that I always, when I speak about my brand and fashion, I always say it was never a dream for me to become a footwear designer. It's a passion. And one thing that I know about passion is passion is just love. If you love it, you're going to continue to do it, period. Whether you broke, whether you got it, or whether you don't have it.
That's good.
That's it.
Good. That's good. Jaminda.
I agree with Antoine. Keep pushing, and we all know that entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, I've seen it actually on different people's Instagrams and things like that. People are talking about this like imposter syndrome. And how, you feel like you're not enough. My message to you today is you are enough. So you are enough, you've been enough, you will be enough. So do it, keep doing it, and keep pushing.
And these are people that are doing it. So it's like, oftentimes we tell ourselves, but it's like, I want people to say, these people are doing it. And there's people that have a 9 to 5 doing it. And they've got their, 5 to 9, 8, your 9 to 5, and then you start at 5 to 9 a.m. and start all over again. You've got another hustle, and it's okay, because I just believe we were born to hustle. That's just what I believe. Black Oak is born to hustle. So, Shalanda, final words for fourth quarter for folks.
Don't be afraid to tell your story and share. I think because if you go to Instagram, everybody's a writer, everybody's a fashion designer. If that's what you're living in, live in it. And that's okay. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not. But you have to build your personal brand awareness. Like I'm not worried about having 3.5 million followers. I'm fine being a macro influencer. I've got 1,500 followers and 50 of them go buy something that I share. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, things are going to take off the way that they're supposed to. And I am more like, I'm like Frenchie, it's not about the money. It's about me elevating brands that don't normally get that elevation.
That's right.
They're not getting featured. They're not getting featured in the view.
And Shalanda, I'm so glad you say that because, in the space that we do influencer marketing, we're telling brands to go after micro influencers because for us, it's more about quality than it is about quantity. We do the numbers. When I look at macro influencers, the engagement rate is like 1 to 5%.
Mm-hmm.
My micro influencers, they're 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's a push, and for me, it's been a slow moving train where initially, I was like, I've got to hurry up and do this, but I've enjoyed taking my time.
Yes.
So and I'm very selective with things that I share. So anyone can say, oh, will you share this? And I told people, no, I'm not going to share that because I don't believe in it enough to share that, to put my name on it, to tell someone else to go.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And one thing for sure that I, and Shalanda, I know from a photo shoot, she was my stylist on my photo shoot about 8 years ago. But one of the things that I love that you do is you can repurpose something. So, you'd be like, oh, I got to take it off. She was like, let's put on the vest and we can wear the same. It was like, oh, I didn't know. And so you can, even as fashionistas that we all can be, we didn't know that we can repurpose something and use it again and again. And so, now we see that in COVID, like you can take a sweater and say, okay, well, now I can put some pumps on and, and I can put some jogger pants, or I can put me some leggings, or I can put me some jeans on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Really find those ways. I just want to say to all of you all, this has truly been such a joy to have you all. All of you all I know very well, and I support you all. And I thank you all for saying yes to this episode and to kick off fashion. The one thing I wanted to announce is I want you guys to come and be a part of a webinar that we are doing with a company called Mintel, which is a global market insights company. And they want to provide free insights for those in the fashion industry. Okay. So they wanted to partner with a Black agency. We said, fine. And so fashion entrepreneurs, bloggers, etc., so that you can have free insights in trends so that you can continue to do the work that you do. And so I certainly will invite you guys to participate in that. All of that information will be shared with you. And so the whole idea was many people were coming to us, how can we help service-based businesses? And so we said, hey, we know entrepreneurs, they need this, provide this. And their insights are $10,000 and they're giving it to us for free.
Excellent. Thank you.
For that, I want to invite you guys to participate in that webinar. I'm excited. It's coming up in 2 weeks. So, and again, for you, Frenchie, there's an opportunity for you to invite some of your clients to be able to
thank you.
Here's a way that you can learn so that we can pivot and make I believe 2020, fourth year, we're going to ring in a whole lot of sales in fourth quarter. And I'm praying for all of you all in this fourth quarter, whatever was lost, that you will get it right back. Okay. I thank you all for this time. And thank you all for listening and chiming in today. We had a little bit of technology issues, but you know what? We got through this. And I just want to say, I wanted to stop this, but y'all just helped me say, okay, I'm going to continue to do this. Only because it's a lot of work to prepare for. It's just a lot, right? So I don't get no money out of it, but I want to certainly be able to be of service to those that are tuning in. So for those that are tuning in, thank you all. Please feel free to share this. We will share the link on YouTube and Facebook as we're live, but we will share with you guys to share with other people who are in this industry so we can continue to do this work of Crisis Currency Roundtable. I love y'all. And
thank you for having me. Thank you.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
Ladies, I'll be in contact.